Unfortunately, we have yet another Journey lawsuit. It seems that this band just really cannot function anymore. And it is quite disappointing as we go into the band's 50th year. This time it is Neal Schon, unfortunately, suing Jonathan Cain. Um, there was a lawsuit going on earlier in the year between Steve Perry, Cain, and Schon about trademarks and some stuff like that. Neal's been kind of digging into some legal stuff with the band, and unfortunately, that has led him to a lawsuit with Jonathan Cain. Now, I'm not a lawyer, and a lot of the people you're going to see covering this, probably all of them are not lawyers. So I'm not going to pretend to understand the ins and outs of this case. But basically, the gist of it, from what I've gathered, and you can see here, I have an article from Ultimate Classic Rock that goes into it. Basically, Neal and Jonathan Cain established an LLC, Limited Liability Corporation, to handle all of Journey's business dealings. It's the business side of the band with shared 50-50 ownership, which makes sense. After Steve Perry left, they were the only two core members really in the band at that point who had of course Ross Valerie was in the band at that point, but he had left during the Raised on Radio sessions, rather fired. So Neal and Jonathan Cain were kind of the constants at that point. So after the creation of this LLC, it was supposed to be 50-50, but allegedly Cain set up an American Express account without Neal Schon's consent or knowledge. Apparently Neal has tried to avoid legal action, but Cain would not. He would not give him access. So it's been this kind of back and forth regarding this American Express account. I know it sounds absolutely silly, honestly, but it is a business account for the band. And according to Neal and the filing, millions in funds have flowed through the account. So that's why, obviously, this is happening. It's all about the money. It's what all of this is always about, right? It's always money, money, money. It's not good. The band has a big tour next year. They're touring with Toto again, and it's their 50th anniversary tour. It's being billed as the Freedom Tour, but all the marketing is suggesting 50th anniversary tour. I covered this in a different video. So it's really disappointing that this is happening. It also, the preliminary hearing is March 3rd. The band is supposed to start their tour, I believe, before that. So I don't even know if this tour is going to happen. There's a chance this tour gets canceled, which is really, really sad. It's really sad. It's sad that this is the point that they've gotten to. It's just really disappointing. Neal has posted about it on Facebook, which you can see here. I'll show that. He's posted a few different things on his combined account with his wife. He talks about Jonathan Cain's wife, Paula White. She's a minister of sorts. Apparently Jonathan Cain added his wife to the account. So it's one of those situations that's just really, really sad. It's sad that we're at this point. It's sad that these guys are fighting over this sorts of stuff. Neal Schon is kind of a tricky character when it comes to this stuff. He comes off as very paranoid, but then he finds stuff like this, and so it makes you wonder, okay, well, maybe he's justified for being a little paranoid. It's hard to say. And I've seen some comments suggesting that Neal just throw Cain out, replace him with Greg Raleigh. I think that Greg Raleigh is a great fit for the band, but legally, Neal Schon cannot do that. They have 50-50 ownership here. He cannot just kick Jonathan Cain out of the band and use the name Journey. And Neal did his offshoot of Journey Through Time, and I'm pretty sure he ended up getting in trouble for doing that. So there's not a lot of options here, which say what you will about Neal Schon, but he did create that. He was the founder of this band. He is the only constant member of this band. He has been on every album. He has never left this band. He's been in this band for 50 years. So it is a shame that he's cornered like this. On the other hand, obviously I understand it. This is the legal agreement that they made back in '98 after Steve Perry left. So, it's a difficult situation. I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about this. Neal said he's not going to talk about it anymore. His lawyers told him to stop, but Neal Schon is a talker. He talks a lot. He talks too much, I think, sometimes on social media, and so I'm sure we will see more of this. Neal and Jonathan have fought before, and I don't know if they will pull through this one. Like I said, I don't really understand how a trial or a hearing is going to work in the middle of their tour, so I would not be shocked if this tour gets canceled or rescheduled or postponed. So that's disappointing. Celebrate your 50th anniversary in a courtroom. That's really sad. It's sad that these guys can't get along. It's sad that they cannot figure out all this financial stuff without it being shady, seedy, anything else. It's a mess. It's all it is. We love the music. I love Journey as a band. I love their music. I love the live performances. I love all of this stuff. And this kind of stuff just muddies it. It makes it hard to want to keep up with it, to follow it. It just muddies the waters. And I also feel really bad for Arnell, because the guy is a part of this band and just wants to go out and perform and sing his heart out, and he keeps getting in the middle, ends up in the middle of these legal disputes that obviously he's not involved in this, but it's like having two brothers that just won't stop fighting. I'm sure he's got to feel a certain way about all the bickering about this. Arnell seems like a really stand-up guy, and for all this fighting and stuff to go on like this and these legal disputes and everything else, it's got to be hard. It's got to be hard on the guy. He already deals with all the abject comparisons to Steve Perry that are not really warranted, and now he's got to deal with all the legal drama going on between his bandmates. So, it's really disappointing, and it makes it harder for them to also have other talent, like a rhythm section, they don't have a permanent rhythm section right now. They don't have a permanent bassist. They have Dean Castronovo on drums, but he's not really a permanent fixture right now either. And this kind of trouble, this legal trouble, really makes talent not want to work with you, because they don't want to be dragged into this. They don't want to be involved in any of this. They don't want a random lawsuit to potentially put their paycheck on the line. So, we'll see what happens here. Like I said, there's not really much that I or anyone else can really say. We don't know all the details with legal stuff. We never will know all the details, and there's always multiple sides, to the story and everything else. But I just thought it was worth you guys knowing, especially if you're planning on going to this tour. Like I said, it might get canceled. I wouldn't be shocked if it got canceled or postponed. So, we'll be on the edge of our seats kind of looking at that to see if that happens. So, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this latest legal development with Journey. Definitely hit the thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe if you haven't. The channel is still growing. We are still growing an amazing community of music lovers. That's what this is all about. Got more content coming as always. I've always got different things cooking. So until next time, guys.